They cheated. They abused. They tried to ruin my life. So I made their phones call each other every 2 hours until they snapped. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Oh, absolutely. I'm Avery, 29 years old, and for 2 years, I was stuck in a relationship that slowly drained the life out of me. At first, it felt like love. He was charming, affectionate, and always around. He texted me good morning. He showed up to my job with coffee. He made me feel like I was his world. But you know what they say? When something feels too good to be true, it usually is. In the beginning, I thought I hit the jackpot. But within 6 months, he started subtly isolating me from everyone I cared about. It started with little comments. Your friends don't really support you like I do? Or, why does your mom always need to be involved in our lives? At first, I defended my family and friends, but over time, I stopped. I didn't want to argue. I wanted peace. I wanted love. I didn't realize I was slowly being cut off from my support system, piece by piece. The abuse wasn't always loud. It was manipulative, emotional, the kind that makes you question your own reality. If I cried, he'd say I was being dramatic. If I brought up his behavior, he'd say I was imagining things. I started feeling like a shell of who I used to be. But the worst part? He was cheating on me for over a year and a half with his so-called girl best friend, the one he told me not to worry about, the one who was just like a sister to him. Turns out that sister became his girlfriend while he was still with me. And I only found out when a mutual acquaintance slipped up and mentioned they'd been on a trip together. A trip he told me was a solo retreat to clear his head. I felt sick, number humiliated. But even worse, I felt stupid. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. He gaslit me saying, "You pushed me into her arms," as if I somehow deserved it, as if he wasn't the one tearing me down every chance he got. I left. I packed my things in one night and never looked back. I blocked them both, deleted everything, changed my number, moved cities, tried to start over. A year passed. Therapy helped. I started reconnecting with my old friends. I even rejoined my family group chat. I was healing slowly. Then, out of nowhere, she found my new number, the same girl who helped him cheat, the same girl who watched him emotionally abuse me. She started spam calling me over and over. I'd block her number and she'd use another. It was relentless. I felt like I was being dragged back into a nightmare I had finally escaped. One night I sat there staring at my phone, shaking with frustration. Why now? Why me? Why can't they just leave me alone? That's when the idea hit me. Not just petty revenge, poetic justice. I remembered a site I'd seen in a Reddit thread ages ago, a two-way call prank app. You enter two phone numbers and it spoofs a call between them, making it look like they're calling each other. Neither of them knows what's happening, and both get furious thinking the other initiated it. For $8, I could send around 400 of these calls. And the best part? The system let me listen back to the recordings. So I did it. I found both of their numbers, saved in an old backup on my laptop, tucked away in a folder I hadn't opened in months. It felt like fate. I set the timer. Every 2 hours, their phones would start calling each other, 6 to 8 times in a row. That first night, I stayed up just to listen, call after call, confused. Hello? Angry. Stop calling me. Her voice rising with each connection. Around the 6th call, she screamed, "What is wrong with you?" I smiled. For the first time in a long time, I smiled without guilt. The next day, I got up, went to work, met my friends for dinner. Meanwhile, my little revenge machine was ticking away in the background. Then came the kicker. I got home to find ketchup splattered all over my car. Again, this wasn't the first time they'd vandalized my property. Months ago, they'd keyed my door, thrown eggs, flattened a tire. I had security cameras installed, but they always found blind spots. Still, I had my suspicions, and now I had motivation. So I upped the game. I changed the call intervals to every hour. Morning, noon, and night. Those phones would ring and ring and ring. I imagined them screaming at each other, both denying it, both fuming. I didn't stop there. I downloaded all the call logs. The app let me tag them. I started building a little library. I even named them. Angry Girlfriend number 7. Confused Cheater number 12. It became my own dark comedy show. To be clear, I didn't feel guilty. Not for a second. These were people who went out of their way to destroy my peace, who stalked me, harassed me, vandalized my things, and tried to psychologically break me. I wasn't just being petty, I was reclaiming my power. One phone call. But I wasn't done yet. Not even close. See, the thing about revenge is, it's never really about hurting the other person. It's about reclaiming power, dignity, control. I'd spent too long being silent, too long shrinking myself to survive his manipulation. Now I wanted to watch them burn. Not literally, of course, but I wanted them to taste chaos. The same chaos they gifted me for years. And boy, did they. The recordings from the app were comedy gold. He sounded confused, tired, and slowly unhinged. His voice went from, "What the hell?" to "Stop calling me," to finally, "I swear if you don't stop, I'm blocking you forever." She was worse, the kind of furious that sounds like a kettle about to burst. And the best part? They both genuinely believed the other one was calling nonstop. I wasn't just playing with them. I was watching them unravel each other. Every hour their phones would ring. Every hour I imagined them in the middle of a conversation, a meeting, a nap, and boom, rage-fueled accusations. I wasn't just satisfied, I was thriving, but it got even better. One night around 3 a.m., I caught a recording of him whispering angrily, "Why do you keep calling me in the middle of the night? What the hell is wrong with you?" And her reply, "I'm literally asleep, idiot. I was going to ask you that." I laughed so hard I woke my dog. This went on for days. I adjusted the schedule randomly so they never knew when the next wave was coming. I made the number of calls vary. Sometimes 3, sometimes 10. Pure confusion. I became chaos. They became my puppets. The next escalation came when she posted a story on her private Instagram. A friend of mine sent it to me. It was a screenshot of her call log. "WTF is this?" with a dozen missed calls from his number. The comments were full of mutual friends chiming in like, "Girl, what is happening?" I sat back, sipped my tea, and let the digital flames rise. "The kicker?" he commented, "You're the one calling me." I could practically hear their relationship combusting through the screen, but karma wasn't done with them. A few days later, I got another gift. One of his friends, who still followed me on social, messaged me randomly. "Yo, you won't believe this, but got into a screaming match with at a gas station. Like full-on yelling, in public. She threw his phone on the ground. He called her insane." I just replied, "Oh, wow. Hope they're okay." I knew they weren't. I knew I was the reason, and it felt divine. But let's pause for a second. Do I think this makes me a bad person? Maybe. Do I care? Absolutely not. These people vandalized my property, stalked me, harassed me for over a year. They put me through emotional hell. And when I finally escaped, they still chased me. This wasn't just petty revenge. This was self-defense, with style. One day the calls just stopped, not because I turned off the app, but because the numbers stopped working. Either they changed their phones, blocked each other, or just gave up entirely. It didn't matter. I won. I got the closure I was denied for so long. I got peace, not from an apology, not from forgiveness, but from the satisfying knowledge that I took control back. I flipped the script. For once, I wasn't the one left confused, crying, and broken. They were, and honestly, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Another.